Hi ladies, this month we are making a bookbinding technique for our cards, for our Christmas card club. And the technique is really simple. You're just going to use a regular card base, but you're going to make one extra fold scoring. So you're going to need, for this card, you're going to need a card base that is 5.5 by 8.5, and you're going to score it at 3 inches and at 4.25 inches. So 3 inches and 4.25 inches. You're going to fold that in half, and then you're going to fold back on your 3-inch score line. And that's it for all of our cards this month. They're either going to be this landscape or portrait, and this one's going to be portrait. So you regular card base scored at 3 inches and 4.25. What you're going to do is simply take a little bit of glue, and you're going to put it right there on the inside of that 3 to 4.25 inch mark, and you are going to fold it down and just press it down, and that's going to make your book binding. It's going to look like a book when you are done with the card. So that's the way it is. Okay, so then for your DSP, you are either going to cut some individual pieces of designer series paper, or you're going to pre-stamp your own basic white paper, and you're going to make it into a 1 inch by 5.25 piece that'll go right on that piece that you've glued down. And you're also going to need one that is 2 3/4 inch wide by 5.25. Now notice that I have a single, design that goes only up and down. So I had to make sure that my 2 3/4 was this way and my 5.25 is that way. If you've got a random pattern, it doesn't matter at all. Okay, so what you're going to do is simply glue these flat onto your card base, and you're going to put a little bit of glue and glue this down on the outside. And then for this card, I use the same DSP side on both sides. For this one, I'm flipping over my DSP, so I want the purple side to show, and I'm going to put it just like that. All right, and so if I had a colored piece of cardstock like I do here, then I put a white piece inside, which is the same dimensions as this piece, the 2 3/4 by 5.25. But this is a white card base, so it needs nothing inside. And then you're simply going to decorate it the way you want to. So for this card, I took a piece of ribbon, put it all the way around and tied a bow. And then I created my label for the front by stamping off part of an angel and then putting the sentiment in there. For this one, I'm going to wait until we get together and decorate it with you, but it'll be fun. Something with a penguin. All right, so that's the first card. Very simple. Second card is exactly the same card, only this time it's going to be, the fold is going to be at the top instead of on the side. So you're going to do exactly the same thing with this card as you did with the other card. You're going to start with your card base. That's a regular 8.5 by 5.5, and you're going to score it at 3 and 4.25. And then again, you are going to fold back on your 3, and you're going to put just a little bit of glue inside that space, and you're going to pop it right down, push it down so that you've got your book binding on your card, and it's going to be just like this. So again, if you're using colored cardstock like I did this time, then I am going to cut a piece of white paper that's 2 3/4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to slip that inside. And you know, you can always stamp on it first before you put it in, or stamp on it later, your choice. And then I'm going to take my DSP, and again I did it in a horizontal fashion, so I had to be careful about the design of my paper. So the design of my paper, it had to be 5 1/4 this way and 2 3/4 this way. If it is a random pattern, it doesn't matter. And I did the same thing with my 1-inch strip, and I had to make sure that it was 5 1/4 lengthwise and 1 inch height-wise, because it's a one-way pattern. So again, this one is all done now. It's just ready to be decorated any way I want to decorate it, and I will wait to do that with you. And the last card is exactly the same technique, but you start with a different size of paper. So these cards, you are going to start with a piece of paper that's 4 1/4 by 11, and you're going to score them at 4 1/4 and 5 1/2. So to start out with this one, you're going to start out with your 4 1/4 across and 11 inches down. You're going to score at what did I say? 4 1/4 and 5 1/2. So again, the 5 1/2 is the traditional, and then the 4 1/4, and you're going to make that little book binding piece by putting your glue right in there and folding it down so that you've got that, and then it's going to be a fold at the top. So your binding is going to be at the top of your card. And for this one, I am using the DSP is a 4 by 4 square, and I'm going to lay that right down. It looks, I think this is a random pattern, but to me the poinsettia just look better in this direction for some reason. And then I can either choose to use that poinsettia again at the top, or I can use the brown on the back. I think I'm going to use the poinsettia part. I'm going to have it match my bottom piece, and this one is 1 inch by 4 inches. So then I've got that all set up and ready to decorate. Oh, and because I used colored DSP, I cut another piece of 4 by 4 basic white to slip into the inside of the card so that my writing and my stamping is nice and clear. And there you have it. So 3 designs, 6 cards, we're ready to roll.